Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Captain Coder here. It's a beautiful morning here in the lovely southwestern desert of the United States, of course. Not of course, like I don't know why I said of course, but of course for me. But for anyone who's just tuning in and doesn't know, I live in the southwestern desert. Southwest? Yeah, northeast. Yeah, southwestern part of the United States. Beautiful here. Dark outside still, but as the summer cometh, the sun will begin to rise around 4:15 in the morning. I can't wait. I can't. Yeah, I had to think that one out in my head. Um, well, my camera, this way is east to me. It's just you're seeing it from, I'm not mirroring my camera. All right. But I don't know what happened. I got some new camera settings, but yeah, that way is east to me. To me, that way is west to me. Moon is always trying to catch me in the act of saying something dumb. Why I always gotta point out when I'm a simpleton? Moon is always pointing out when I'm a simpleton. That's okay, Moon is. I am a simpleton. I'll take that. I take it. But what are we working on today? Welcome back to Captain Coder's Academy. Moon is MMO Pug, Rel C-Dub Gaming. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. So happy to have you back today here with me. Welcome aboard. Welcome back to the crew. Such a lovely, lovely time to be alive. We live in the future, baby. We live in the future where I can, communicate with you through the power of the internet over millions of miles, not millions of miles. I take it back. Thousands of miles all at the same time. The networking complexity of that blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind to think that I'm broadcasting out into the abyss, I guess you might call it, the aether, and people are receiving my transmission elsewhere. Blows my mind. I try not to think about it too much. It gets boggling. But what are we working on? What are we working on? Royal C-Dub says, Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, Royal C-Dub Gaming. Thank you. My heart is very full right now. I don't know, that looked more like a butt than a heart, but that's okay. Happy Valentine's Day. You're right. It is February the 14th. That is Valentine's Day. I was gonna eat some cake last night. I forgot. That's okay. Moon is Happy Butt Day. Exactly. Happy Butt Day. I've always thought that hearts look kind of like have like a butt shape to them. I've always thought they looked like butts to me. But is that just me? Is that just me? Let's get some pictures of some hearts so we can see what I'm talking about. Heart images. Don't give me. Let's say human hearts. That's okay. We can look at some human hearts too. But I just want to look. Come on, just show me Valentine heart. Valentine. Don't. Oh, there we go. Don't hearts. They look like butt. I guess not really. My butt. They look like very. This one looks like a butt. Do hearts look like butt to anyone else, or is it just me? Am I just weird? It's because I have a cleft chin. You can't see it because I got a beard. It's not hugely cleft, but I've always said I got a butt chin, and then I always felt like it looked kind of like a heart. I don't know. I'm just saying words. Sometimes I like to say words. Does anyone else just like to say words? But anyway, happy Tuesday. What the heck are we working on here? What the heck are we working on here? We are trying to create an RPG. Moon is also like saying words. Good to hear. glad to know you like saying the words. I like saying words with my mouth, right? If I could just project, telepathy, if I could project my words directly into your brain, I would. But no one would want that. It'd be too bad, though. You guys are just lucky I don't have that power. You guys are lucky I don't have the power to just project my thoughts through the internet into your mind. Ooh, that sounds like a good supervillain. The projector. The projector. All right, focus. We gotta focus. What are we working on? What are we working on? This is day 2. Day 2, we're making an RPG dungeon generator. Dramulks, welcome back. Welcome aboard, my friend. RPG generator. We want to be able... I really dislike these fat walls. They're too big, but I'm going to just live with it. I'm going to live with it while we design this thing out. The reason I dislike it is like, what does a door look like in this situation? Is it a door... So if I were to put a door in here, does the door occupy the middle spot, or does the door take up the whole wall? What does the door look like? Do you just pass through the door? I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna keep generating stuff this way. We're gonna build up. Should I stop? Should I stop? What do people think? Do the walls look terrible? Should I make half walls? Should I make them half walls? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, folks. But I think we're okay. All right, I'm gonna leave it this way. It's easier this way. Okay, so the question we gotta ask. Cut them down, break down the wall. Break down the wall. Muna says, shouldn't walls be only a plane and not a box? Let me ask you a question. Are the walls in your house a plane, or are they a box? Are they just a plane? Can you see through them from one side? If it was a plane, you could see through it from one side. Radar, welcome back, my friend. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. All right. Moon is, yes, it's called the window. I have several. Daniel, my friend, it's so nice to see you. I love the Code Red High. Let's go back with the Code Red High. Boom. Hi. So nice to see you, my friend. Red, so sorry I have not joined for so many days. I was not well and busy. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear you weren't well. How are you doing today? Are you feeling better? I hope you're feeling better. Ooh, Code Red Games is even here with the high. Beautiful. Beautiful. Code Red Games, the man, the myth, the legend himself is here. If you're not following Code Red Games, you should be. Code Red Games. Real quick, everybody. Can I do just Code Red? No, I gotta do Code. I should make that an alias. If you're not following Code Red Games, get that. See that little heart button there? It's right there at the top. If you're not following him, there's a heart button for you. Click the heart. Click it. Click it. Click it. Click it. Click it. Click it. All right, I hope you clicked it. Code Red Games, developing Rogue Blight. Fun stream. Fun stream. Really, really good stuff. Anyway, Code Red, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence today. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Moon is, I clicked it, now I'm not following anymore. Well, you only click it. Why'd you click it? Why'd you breaking Code Red's heart? Breaking Code Red's heart. But Radar, so nice to have you aboard. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're less busy. But I'm so glad you're here. Don't worry about joining if you can't make it. That's not a big deal. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you're not here. It fills my heart with joy when you are here, but it doesn't hurt me if you're not here. Just remember, you can't hurt the captain. The captain is invincible, indestructible. Indestructible heart. You can fill the heart with love. You can't break it. The heart is indestructible. Mooniz didn't unfollow. Just like making jokes. That's okay, Mooniz. We all know you really unfollowed, but you know, whatever you gotta say to make yourself feel better. Okay, what do I... Oh, all right, we're getting distracted. What am I doing? What are we trying to do? I'm trying to make an RPG dungeon generator. So we're not making an RPG game, just a dungeon generator. We're exploring doing dungeon traversal, grid-based dungeon movement, 90 degree. But we gotta get a generator first. In this project, let's take a look at my goals document, the document here that I've put together. Let me get that. Where's my document cam button? One moment. There it is. Document camera. Welcome to my desk. Welcome to my desk. So what am I gonna learn? Here's the things I want to do. Procedural generation. I've never actually done procedural generation. I have some ideas, but I've never actually implemented it. So we're gonna do some procedural generation, but we also are gonna explore doing Unity editors. I want to have an editor a Unity editor that I can use to make this. And then grid-based movement. Those are the three things. 1, 2, 3 things that we're going to try and do. Today, I'm going to focus on this one. I'm going to focus on this one today. That's my primary goal, is to get something going with this. Learn a little bit of something about making Unity editor. All right. Here's what this is not going to be. It's not an RPG. It's just the generator for the dungeon. There will be no multi-user use, no multiplayer, no multi-use at the same time. And we're not going to be generating environments. So no cities forced, just dungeons, keeping it simple. Your handwriting is like mine. Is that a compliment or a not so compliment? Because in my mind, I hate my handwriting, but I have it. I have it here. And then there will be no crafting, no inventory system. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's get into it. So our first order of business today, my first goal. Radar says, I am proud of my handwriting. Good. I'm glad you're proud of your handwriting. I've always, found my handwriting, I don't know. It's like my voice. I don't like hearing my own voice. Exactly, Dramlux. No crafting, no inventory. Not in this one. Although I think a crafting system would be a really, really cool project. I think that might be a cool project to do, a week-long, 2-week-long project just to build a framework for doing a crafting system. That sounds really fun. Someone quick, in the Discord, go down to, where is it? I got too much stuff in my Discord now. Suggest game ideas. Someone quick, post a crafting down there, because that would be a cool project. Maybe I should change that to suggest a project idea rather than suggest a game. Someone quick, crafting. I love that idea. All right, so what do I want to do today? Where's my to-do list? It's somewhere. Here we go. My to-do list. All right, to-do list. We're going to explore Unity editors today. That's our primary goal. Learn something about Unity editors, not inspector editors, but true Unity editor. I want to be able to create a menu item in Unity that opens up a new window. That's step one. You got to get that first step. Got to get that first task. Want to make it easy. We want to make it easy. And you want to be able to check something off your list right away. Build that confidence up. So create a menu item in Unity that opens a new window. One task, 1 minute. All right, Dramulx. Remember, Captain, I'm a simpleton. Simple. Think, simpleton. The word simple, ton. That means a ton of simple. We got a simpleton. A ton, simple. I'm a ton of simple. So what might take you 1 minute takes the captain at least an hour. At least an hour. But let's do a little bit. Captain is not a simpleton, just a facade. Darkman, yo! Mr. Dark, I don't know if it's Mr. Darkman, but Darkman, I don't want to be so formal. I apologize for being so formal. Darkman, welcome back. Welcome to the crew once again, my friend. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you aboard. But let's hop in here. I should stop Googling stuff on screen because something terrible could happen. But I'm gonna pull up the documentation for Unity editor windows. We're gonna read about it a little bit. All right. Editor Windows, version 2021.3. Darkman, how are you today, my friend? You can create any number of custom windows in your app. These behave just like Inspector Scene or any other built-in ones. This is a great way to add a user interface to a subsystem for your game. Making a custom editor window involves the following simple steps. They really shouldn't say simple here. They should just take steps at simple. Does anyone else? A lot of programming books do this too. They use the word obviously. There's a book. I wish I had it here. The like traditional algorithms book, which everyone finds really, really complex. That always says like, well, obviously, they're like explaining some proof. Like, obviously, it must be this, but there's no reason to put that in there. Darkman asks, what are you trying to do? Daniel also, club started. See you later. Have a beautiful day, my friend. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy your coding club. I hope it's coding club or whatever club you're in. Enjoy whatever club you're in. That's good to know. Darkman, what am I trying to do? I want to make a dungeon generator. So I will be doing, let's go here, dungeon in April. In April, I would like to participate in this game jam, the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2023. So this is a game jam about first-person, grid-based dungeon crawling games. I'm exploring procedurally generated dungeons that have this sort of thing going on with them. And so that's what we're exploring. So today my goal is to add in an editor window that we can do some stuff in it. Let's see, Dark. But so I hope that answered your question a little bit, Dark Man. Mr. Natural, good morning, my friends. Muna says, first create a new editor window, paste these 40,000 lines of code. Now you have a Minecraft in your inspector. Hope you learned something. Thanks, bye. Exactly. Darkman, I think I have an idea on, but I don't know if it will work. Well, feel free to suggest. You know me. I love questions. I enjoy backseat coders. Backseat coding helps me get better at program. But here we go. Making a custom editor window involves the following steps. Create a script that derives from editor window. Use code to trigger the window to display itself. Implement the GUI code for your tool. Derive from editor window. In order to make your editor window, your script must be stored in a folder called editor. We'll see if that's true. We're going to see if it's true that it has to be an editor. Make a class in the script that derives from editor window, then write your GUI control in the inner on GUI function. All right. Let's give it a go. I'm going to see if I have to be in the editor. I'm going to do it in editor first. But I do have my editor script here. All right. So in our assets, we're going to create a folder called editor. And I'm using assembly, so I kind of think that this won't work, but I kind of have a feeling that this is actually not going to work in the editor folder because I'm using assemblies. And so sometimes, anyway, we're gonna try it. This is gonna be, let's see, example window. All right, we're not gonna call ours example window. This one's gonna be called the dungeon generator, or like map editor window, something like that. Grid editor, there we go, because everything like grid renderer, grid wall grid editor. All right, let's open this up. Let's slap that in there, grid editor. The actual window code goes here. Good. Moon is gotta be new and edgy. Call it example 2 window. Example 2 window. That way people know it's modern. Namespace. Captain Coder.dungeoneering. All right, here we go. Let's format this. Darkness says, at first we tell it to randomly choose a room, and if we do, we tell it to randomly pick a room that can be good from the previous room. It is a little complex. Yeah, so my plan a little bit is I'm gonna have a bunch of predefined rooms like this. All right, so right now my thought is I have rooms and corridors. All right, so rooms and corridors, and every room will have something that, you know, this will be like a base room, but I might put something in here that's a star. And a star says there's something that could potentially get generated at a star. This is what I'm going to call a connection point. It says at a star, something might happen. And I might have different symbols, but this star here would say like, well, this is a potential for a corridor to be generated, okay? And so then what I do is I have so this might be one room. I might have another thing that is a corridor list like this. So maybe this is a type of corridor I have. And again, this one has connection points that look like this. And when I get here, it'll generate some probability. I think I'm gonna use a Markov chain. Don't worry about the word Markov chain. I'll explain a little bit. Once we get here, it might not be today. When we encounter one of these, so we'll say this is the starting room. We boom, drop the room into place. And then when we go to generate the room, it says, okay, find one of the unevaluated stars. All right, find an unevaluated star. Perfect, found one. All right, now at this star, use a Markov chain, which says, based on all the previous generations, try and find something that seems, you know, reasonable here. Get a list of things that we might put here, then randomly select one, maybe not uniform, and then boom, it's gonna add it in here. Muna says not using the drunkard's walk algorithm. No, we're gonna use the Markov chain algorithm. All right, so this would put this in here. It selects this point, drops it in, and then this thing actually happened to add one of those in there. One of the options to generate could actually just be generate a dead end. That could be an option. So it's possible that rather when you get to one of these, one of the options, you have like this ending idea where it'll just boom, generate a thing. And this is based off the Markov chain. So the Markov chain says, you know, as we get further along, we're gonna be less and less likely to continue generating stuff out. And you might have things like, oh, if we happen to have generated one of these rare rooms, don't generate that rare room again. Or the likelihood of that rare room getting generated becomes increasingly smaller. All right. So that's the generic idea, Darkman. But I think it sounds a lot like what you're suggesting. At first we have a room and we randomly tell it to pick a room that could be good next to it. Exactly. That's exactly right. Mine's going to be slightly more complex in that it's going to have these like nodes that you can sort of connect off of. And it will just continue evaluating, picking one of those at random and saying, all right, build off of here. Pick one at random, build off of there. It might also have an ordering on when it does it. So it might do this room first and then do what's called breadth first, where it says, okay, well, I'm going to start and I'm going to generate an extension to each one of these. And as I do, that'll get me a new set of stuff. Mr. Natural Master Lurker checking in. Welcome, Mr. Natural. As you know, there are many options on Twitch and YouTube where you can choose to lurk, and Captain Coder's Academy appreciates you choosing us as your lurking destination. We hope you enjoy your stay here. As always, do not hesitate to unlurk, ask questions, and hang out with us as long as you would like. All right. So let me close. I'm gonna try and focus. Let's close others. All right, I got my grid editor. Darkman, did that make any sense? All right, so we have this. Make a class in the script that drives from the editor window, then write your GUI control showing the window. Showing the window. In order to show the window on screen, make a menu item that displays it. Ooh, this sounds like what we want to do. This is done by creating a function which is activated by a menu item property. Ooh, menu item property. That sounds like what we want. The default behavior in Unity is to recycle windows. So selecting the menu item again would show existing windows. This is done by using the function editor window.getWindow. All right, we're gonna try it. Mr. Internationals, will I become a top lurker? Outlook looks good. Phil's birthday man. 8-Ball, will this editor window be accepted? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I wonder why these emojis, these emotes aren't showing up. They were showing up before, were they? Were they showing up before? Or are they just not showing up for me? Or I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Oh, they don't show up for me. So when I check out mine here, they show up as just text here. Fascinating. Well, that's okay. We'll just have to live with it. I'm just gonna live with it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I probably have some setting. There's probably some setting I have in my options here that's like only shows specific emotes. Hang on, I'm clicking on emotes. Emotes only chat. Oh, that was not what I wanted. Show mod icons, chat appearance. I'm not gonna worry about. All right, sorry, I'm getting distracted. My bad. Look, I'm not a Twitchologist. I'm a computer scientist. I'm not a Twitchologist, everybody. I don't know. I'm not an expert in Twitchology. Okay, so then it's telling me to add this thing in here. All right, so window, can I make a new, hang on. Dungeoneering grid editor. Show window. All right. Has to be, ooh, fascinating. Most things are never static here, but this is beautiful. We'll get type of grid editor. I'm a twitcher here, Mr. Natural says. I'm twitching out. All right, my window could not be found. All right, but Darkman lost connection. That's okay, Darkman. Welcome back. Grid editor. Hey, we got a window. We've got a window. Got a window up. Yeah, we've got a window. Got a window up. Darkman, I'm sorry you lost connection. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back, though. The empty window, boom, done. Ship it. Ship it. I wanted to get something easy done first. Create a menu item in Unity that opens a new window. Boom. Always make that first one easy. Always make that first one easy. Now 50k more lines to get that box, get a box to appear inside the window. Daniel says, I think in like the settings where you set up Twitch or stream, you're on YouTube, there should be a little thing, the one I think called extensions, and you just choose better TTV. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. All right, but you were here to witness this first. I didn't know, I've never done this before, so I didn't know how long it was gonna take, but I learned something new today. So for being here to witness this momentous occasion, 50 points, everybody. Everybody gets 50 points. Congratulations to you. And thank you. Thank you for your contributions to society, to reality, to the glory that is the Dungeoneering kit. But we got a window. All right, so now comes the hard parts. Now comes the part, adding UI components. All right, there's several UI components I'd like to add. A text area, and then 3 buttons: a save, a load. Load might not be necessary, but and an add to scene. So we're gonna add in these components: a text window, a text area, a save, a load, and an add to scene. All right, everyone checking their points now. Daniel says, I think we'll be making a WordPress website. Okay. All right, WordPress, not bad, not bad. Are you using the open source software, or are you using like WordPress.com? Just curious. Okay. All right. Mooniz got 16,000 points. Working your way up. Dramulks with 10,000 points. Nicely done. Mooniz, what are you talking about, Mooniz? Who's number 1? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why are you so sad that you're number 2? Moon is ranked number 2. I guess you just gotta get good. What are you talking about? Let's go check out the leaderboard. Let's go check out the leaderboard. To see here real quick. Who's in first place? Who's in first place? New Miz. New Miz is number 1 with 17,011 points. New Miz, gotcha. just right above you, Mooniz. I guess you just gotta be here a little bit more often. You gotta grind those points up. All right, everybody. Mooniz upset that he's in second place just because New Miz is a little bit more, grinding a little bit harder. What do we do? Is this, how do we, there was an option to show, all right. Here we go. We're gonna keep working on it here. We're gonna add a UI component. All right, so how do we do that? Okay, here we go. Implementing your Windows GUI. This is the simple part. This will create a standard dockable editor window that saves its position between invocations, can be used in custom layouts to have more control over what gets created. You can use get window rect. Darwin says, I gotta go back, be back in 1.5 hours. All right, Dark Man, have a beautiful day, my friend. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you for popping in. It's so nice to see you this morning. Daniel, welcome to Lurk Mode. Good luck with your project, my friend. Implementing your Windows GUI. The actual contents of the window are rendered by implementing the onGUI function. Should be same method. You can use the same Unity GUI classes you use for your in-game GUI and GUI layout. In addition, we provide some additional GUI controls located in the editor-only classes Editor GUI and Editor GUI Layout. These classes add to controls already available in the normal classes so you can mix and match at will. The following C# code shows how to do it. All right. Someone was saying, I think it might have been you, Dramux, was saying that there's like an HTML thing we could do. This GUI, that GUI, it's a GUI, boy. Chat quiz question. What's the difference between a function and a method? Ooh, I know this one. All right. UI toolkits. All right, so I should look up UI toolkit. UI toolkit. I guess it's not entirely a lie that a method that it is a function. Okay, UI toolkit. Do I have to install anything, or is this just in there by default? Do I have to add a package? The UI toolkit is a collection of features, resources, and tools for developing user interface. Prompt UI. So this one's an UI. You can use UI Toolkit to develop custom UI and extension for the Unity editor runtime, debugging tools, and runtime UI for games and applications. UI Toolkit is inspired by standard web technologies. If you have experience developing web pages or applications, your knowledge is transferable and core concepts are familiar. Note, Unity recommends you to use UI Toolkit for your new UI development projects. However, Unity UI, UGUI, and ImGUI are appropriate for certain use cases and are required to support deprecated projects. For more information, see the comparison of UI systems in Unity. Daniel says, I will try it out. I looked into it and prototyped what it would take me to move my in-game UI. Ooey gooey, rich and chewy. The core of UI Toolkit is a retained model UI system based on recognized web technologies. It supports style sheets and dynamic and contextual event handling. The UI system includes the following features. Visual tree. All right, but how do I get started? All right, is there a getting started? Get started. Here we go. Want to create your first UI with UI Toolkit? Use the basic UI Toolkit workflow example to get started. Note, for demonstration purposes, this guide describes how to add UI controls for the editor UI. However, the instructions on adding UI controls to a UI document also apply to runtime UI. For more information, see Getting Started with Runtime UI. If you perform a specific task often, you can use UI Toolkit to create a dedicated UI for it. For example, you can create a custom editor window. The example demonstrates how to create a custom editor window and add UI controls into your custom editor window with UI Builder, XML, and C# script. You can find the completed files this example creates in the GitHub repository. Ooh. Create a project in Unity Editor with any template. In the project window, right-click in the assets. I wanted to try something. Let me get distracted here. I wanted to see if I move this. Let me close this here. Wrong window. If I were to close this, if I were to move this into my editor scripts, do you still show up? Do you? I see it. All right, let's rebuild. We're rebuilding. They lied. I don't need it in this editor folder. Mwah. Let's see if I change this real quick. Dungeoneering kit. Let's see if that. All right, so it just has to be in an editor assembly. All right, good to know, because I don't, the magic folder. So I could like nest this inside of something. I could actually probably put this in as a DLL included in something. All right, so we learned something new today. Excellent. Okay. Dramok says there are some issues actually. If you place custom attributes inside the editor folder, they won't show up. Interesting. All right. In the project window, right click on assets folder, create UI toolkit editor window. Oh. Create UI toolkit editor window. Asset to create. All right, we're gonna create a folder for this. It's gonna be our grid editor. All right, create UI toolkit editor window. Grid editor. Do. All right. I guess we're gonna delete this or rename it so there aren't conflicts. Grid editor, hello, with style. Look at how stylicious this is. So stylicious. Hello world from C#, hello world from UXML, hello world from with style. Should I have not created all of those things? All right. In the UI toolkit, clear the USS checkbox. I should have read the instructions all the way. Unity Coder says editor/folders can be inside parent files. Does the assembly allow making builds with editor scripts? It does specifically. So notice I'm in a thing called editor scripts. If I go to this assembly, I have it specifically checked to be just an editor assembly. I think this is how it works. It seems to be working. We'll find out whether or not it works momentarily. Okay. And I'm going to rename this just so I don't get, or I'm going to delete this. This wasn't hard to make. I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to keep going with my editor here. Okay. This creates a custom editor with 2 labels. You can open the editor window from the UI toolkit. All right, hang on. Let us try again. It told me to uncheck one of the boxes and I didn't. We're gonna try again. Get it right. On the first try, editor window. It told me to uncheck USS. All right, and grid editor. Confirm. Dramox. Well, I'm not a rebel. I'm just not a. I didn't read the instructions. I always tell my students, make sure you read all of the instructions in each section before going. And of course, I don't. All right. Add UI controls to the window. You can add UI controls into your window in the following ways. Use the UI builder to visually add the UI controls. Use an XML-like file structure to add the UI controls. Use C# script to add UI controls. You can use any of these methods individually or combined. The following example creates 3 sets of labels, buttons, and toggles with combination. All right, so which one should I use? In my gut, I'm like, nah, I kind of want to use this one here. But we'll check it out. Why use XML or C#? Because I like having that fine nitty gritty to control UIs. UIs or UI need to make us all right. Well, we'll use the grid editor here. In the editor folder, double click the UXML. All right. Moona says, I use C# was kind of nice, easy to make it dynamic. You can use both. Yeah, I'm such a I like knowing what's going on under the hood. If I'm using I've never liked graphical GUI builders. They always make me really, but using it to get started maybe. All right, so we were gonna add in a. You can set up. Muniz says you can use both. You can set up elements in GUI, then get them and fill them in C#. That's sort of what I'm. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's add a label. All right, we're gonna get rid of that. You eventually have to connect things. I want a text area. So I see you have a text field. Can I make the text field like big? Okay. Can I get rid of this left part? I just want like a big text thing. Dremel says, but I don't care about that when it comes to editor UI. I care about how the damn thing looks. Interesting. All right. Can I get rid of this labeled chunk over here? I just want the text area with no label. All right. Text field display. When it says yes you can, but provides no additional information. No additional information. Label, no label. Excellent. Look, Muniz, I didn't need you. I was too fast. All right. I want all the text to be aligned at the top as well. Look, 15 seconds. That wouldn't even take me 15 minutes. 15 seconds. Boom. Fast. I'm sure. Oh, I wasn't writing anything, Captain. I wasn't gonna tell you how to do it. I wasn't typing nothing. You just, Yeah, that's the tip. I wasn't doing nothing. Okay. So in this text field, I want the text inside to appear at the top. To appear at the top only. All right, let's see if I can do that. I'm letting the student figure things out. Can't give them all the solutions. Yeah. We'll see here. We'll see when the student becomes the master. All right, what is name here? Name. These tooltips aren't the most helpful. Text field. All right, here's the name. We're gonna give it. This is gonna be our map data. Picking mode, position, ignore. Tooltip. This is a tooltip. Perfect. All right. Max link -1. Mask characters read only is delayed. Style sheet. Muniz says your tooltips are also very helpful. Exactly. That way people know it's a tooltip, right? Okay, size, margin padding. Can I text? Does anyone know? I could probably play around with it. If I can style the inside of this text area. I want it to be a mono font, because right now I can tell it's not. That's not what I didn't mean to click run. I did not mean to click run. Okay. Also, I'm guessing. Let me hit save here. I'm guessing that to open this up, yeah, here we go. This is gonna be Dungeoneering Kit Grid Editor. I have inline styles on the right. Cool. I'll check it out. I don't want a hello. Get out of here. Get. Each editor window contains a root element. Let's see. The USS I had before, so I should have left the USS. The USS style sheet. The instructions told me I didn't need it. I can add a style class on the right. So inlined. No idea how that works. I've never used it. All right. Class style, add style, extract, matching selector, Unity text field, base text field, add style to class list, extract style, style sheets, create new USS. All right, we're gonna put this in our editors. Editor scripts, grid editor, styles. Okay, USS styles. Ooh, fancy. All right. United States of States, exactly. The USS, the United States of States. United States of Style Sheets, the USS SSS. United States Style Sheets Savings States. Add class. All right, so I should be able to create an US. All right, hang on. Can I just open this? Does this let me edit you? We're gonna try a thing. I don't like that this is. Do I just put regular? What's the? All right. I gotta read the documentation. Style UI structure. Examples. Work with text. Relative and absolute position, complex list, scroll view, label, pop-up, toggles, custom controls. I want fancy text. Might be with working with text. Get started with text. Style text with USS. Style text. Text properties are regular USS style properties. You can set text in this way. Can I set to style the text UI in the builder? Oh, that's fancy. Text element. If the UI control inherits from text element, vertical text alignment, text alignment. If the UI control is a text element that inherits from text element, such as label or button, you can set the styles this way. But what about this thing? What is this? Oh, that's not what I want. I want to style. All right, we're gonna try style. This is UI toolkit style text field. Class text field. Text field, text input. This might not be what I want. Styling underline text input component. When is this from? 2019. This might be too old. Manual UXML. Element text field, binding path, attributes. What I would like, all right. Unity text field. So this, double click the selector and edit it. All right, I want to see if I can just make a style. All right, I want to see if I can make a style. I need an example. UnityCoder.com says there are some UI inspector tool to pick elements and see info style names like inspect element in browser. Yeah. Are there? Multi-line. Can't have. Can I have multi-line? So I think the issue is this is not a multi-line input. Oh, I have to. All right, this. Look at me. Look at me. Look, I don't gotta do nothing. It's got it. I just gotta click this multi-line option. And then that makes it be aligned to the top, which is beautiful. All right. Perfect. Done. I had my example.txt. So I don't think it's monospaced though. So if I were to paste this in here, filler text. Where's the this is the tooltip text. Yeah, it's not monospaced. So I do need to change the font. Maybe in those 3 dots. These ones here. The debugger. The debugger. Oh. Can do this. That's kind of neat. All right, can I Unity text field? Styles. Font text. Font. Okay. So I guess I could add in a font here. Let's go get a mono font. All right. Mono fonts free. 120 free mono spaced fonts. All right. Space mono. I just want Consolus. Can I just get Consolus font download? The font Consolus. Gimme Consolus. I need the Consolus. Is this a real download button or is this a trap button? Is anyone else like you're on a website and like this looks like a trap button? This one looks like it's next to this. Look at this trap button right by it. Uh-oh. This ad is so seductive. I hate those. I hate them. In my normal web browser, I have ad blocker, and so those things wouldn't be showing up. But the internet's a dangerous place, my friends. The internet's a dangerous place. All right, let's download. Oh, this Consolus font comes with an executable file. I better run it. Is it personal use? Personal license. Consolus should be free for everyone. Where did you see the personal license on Consolus? That can't be right. That has to be stolen. Who's the author? Consolus is like a system font. All right. Royalty free. Or here. Open Game Art. 1001 fonts. Free fonts, baby. All right. Mono. I really just want a mono font. Is there an option to search for just mono fonts? Code New Roman. Consolus mono. I guess this might be made by this person. Let's see. Free for commercial use. Perfect. Commercial use. I mean, there's still a license probably that I have to include. Consolus is licensed. I would really like one that is just like open. Stupid Consolus. Thank you for pointing that out, Unity Dev. Unity Coder, sorry. All right, here, let's come into our... Come over here. We're gonna go into our create folder font. Illuminati, hello, my friend. Welcome back to the crew. Happy, let's see, we'll do this one. Happy, what's today? Happy Tuesday. How are you, Illuminati? So nice to see you again. It is so nice of you to pop in today. All right, so this is the font that we want. Boom, perfect. Woo, we can zoom. We can zoom. All right. You're ALP, good to know. I had a feeling you were. I wasn't 100% sure though. Still messing around with assets, but yeah, welcome back. How are your asset endeavors going? All right. Should we make this font a little bigger? What if we made it bold? Bold looks horrible, not italic. Alignment left, top. No wrap. Okay. Beautiful. Illuminati unfortunately says, really bad it doesn't let me peacefully add a steering wheel for my boat. I'm sorry you cannot steer your boat. That sounds quite the frustration. All right, I kind of would like the size of this to be the size necessary to render the text inside, but I'm gonna leave that alone for now. And instead I'm gonna add some buttons. I'm gonna add some buttons. So we're gonna add, I want 3 buttons. I would really like them to be side by side though. Can we add in a group box? But that's what we really want. And I can add a button in that group. Hang on, button. Are those inside the group? Where's my group box? These are not inside my group box. Are you inside my group box? Can I put things inside? I'd like to add things such that they're aligned left to right. Left side hierarchy. Ooh, a hierarchy. Map data. Okay. Gotcha. So I'm going to do a group. And then in there I can do my button. Beautiful. Dramelx. Oh, no, that was Mooniz. Mooniz, my friend. Thank you for your assistance. You're 50 points closer to defeating Numiz. 50 points closer to defeating Numiz. All right, and in this, we can say that, can we make this go left to right? The innards, position, tooltip. This is a tooltip. Perfect. All right, that's gonna be, if I rename, can I rename this? Group box, it's gonna be like control buttons. Name attributes can only contain letters. Okay. This is gonna be our save, load, and add to scene. Mooniz, gotta catch up to that Numiz. Gotta get him. They've just been grinding away for years here in this stream to get all those points. Add to scene. I'm gonna lowercase the t here. Add to scene. All right, and this here, I want it to be left to right. Display. Position. Or is it on these? All right, so I think if flex. Direction to the right. There we go. Easy. We flex it to the right. You're flexing to the right. Flexing to the right. Do we think these should be on above? I think they should go above. What do people think? Above or below? I like them above. I like them at the top. All right, let's give this a save. Give it a little savey save. Ababalo. 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 Ababilo we. Ababalo we. Ababalo we. That should be the name. That could be a song. Dungeoneering kit. Boom. Done. It works. Look. Everything works. Everything is working. Beautiful. This is awesome. Okay. So that was also not too bad. Moona says it could be the name of the main character in the jam game. Yeah, Ababalowi. Ababalowi. Okay. We did it. We added all of these buttons to it. One more One more little notch. Oh, boom. I didn't know how hard that was going to be or how easy it was going to be. The UI editor made it pretty nice. Made it pretty nice there. Crossed it off. And for being here to witness this momentous occasion. 50 points, my friends. 50 points to you, my loyal viewers. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right. So the next chunk here, I think, is going to take us quite a bit more time. Quite a bit more time to do. We're an hour into the stream. So I'm going to, instead of trying to start this and then panicking 30 minutes because I need to take a break, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Not stop. We're going to pause. We're going to go on break. Going on break. When I get back. Checks party, I am making custom editor tools. Yeah, we're building a dungeoneering kit. You're just in time. We just added in this save load add to scene. We're making a grid editor here. Oh, notice this little chunky boy down here. We're gonna make this thing go places. We're gonna make it go places. All right, we're making a dungeon generator here, but we want to have this text boy save load add to scene. When you click add to scene, it's gonna chunk that, take this whole thing and dump it into your scene. Take a big old dump in the scene and make a dungeon. Make a dungeon. Yeah, so this is our editor. Eventually there's going to be a generate button, and then there'll be some other things that, like, you can create rooms and specify like percentages, be able to select a node. This is probably going to become a grid, like a grid thing that you click on each individual thing, maybe a drawing tool. I don't know all the details just yet. Stop hammering me with questions, checks. It's too much. It's too much. All right, everybody, we're going to go on break real quick. So, when we get back, we are going to do some stretches. You know me, we got to take care of ourselves, got to take care of our body. But when I get back, we're going to do some stretches. So to prepare for that, I know you all are looking forward to these stretches. To prepare for it, I want you to get your friends, your family, get everybody in the room. And I'm getting my coffee. You're going to be getting your friends, your family, your dogs, your cats, your fish, your lizards, your chinchillas, anything you got that can stretch. Bring them together. Moonis, last time I stretched along with you, I lost my arm. I take no responsibility for I said to be careful. I said if it hurts, you should stop. Why didn't you stop? Moonis? So it sounds like a personal problem. That said, we'll be back. I'm going to go get me some more coffee. Gonna get me some coffee, and we will be back. Hang tight, everybody. Hang tight. All right, we are back. The captain's back. I'm so sorry to do that to all of you. I'm so sorry to abandon you for such a long duration of time. I hope it doesn't scar you. I hope you're okay. But I'm back. I'm back. Looks like we had a little bit of a break. Yeah, Chex probably says Java break. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I think Check said that. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my marbles, people. All that marble and made me lose marbles. Over on YouTube, we got Lahore. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that. Lahore says, "Sir, kindly make a beginner course about all games." That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of games. There's a lot of things. That said, I am trying. I'm in the process. I've been recording videos. I have a couple scripts. I'm putting together some stuff on doing games in Unity. Not all games, sorry. That's a large task. But I do have a book you can check out. If you're interested in learning C# specifically, I've been working on creating a book. All right, so I have a little bit of a book. It's a workbook. It's an alpha. You can check it out though for learning C# here. We got Adventures in C#. It'll bring you through all the basics of coding. I make my students go through this before we start into Unity, and I've just started doing Unity. If you want a physical book, I highly recommend. I highly recommend. Jamal says you need a C# firstly if you want to read Captain C# book. Yeah. The C# Player's Guide is an excellent book. I think it's the best learn C# book. Again, not game development, but C# in general, coding book. This is the best book out there, in my opinion. It's not free. It's about $30. And then, Chex Price says D flat. I'm surprised no one's made a language called D flat. I guess it would. People might not get that. It's not musicians. And then the yellow book's a completely free PDF book. Highly recommend. You can learn it yourself. But these are all great resources. I highly recommend them. I give them the Captain Coder stamp of approval. As far as game development goes, I'm brand new to game development, but I am recording. I'll be putting out some videos on my YouTube channel soon. TM. All right, everybody. I'm back from the break. You know what that means. You know what time it is. All right, everybody up. We're gonna get some stretching in. Real quick, everybody. Stand on up. All right, taking a deep breath here. Stretch up, get up on your toes. Stretching's so important. At least getting up and moving if you're sitting at a desk like I do. Or standing at a desk like I am. But if you're at a desk, if you're sedentary, if you're living that sedentary life, you're hurt, you're doing some damage to your body. But yeah, reach up and stretch, hold it. We're gonna hold this another 15 seconds. Should feel good. All right, and before we go down, we're gonna take a deep breath, and we're gonna slowly roll down and hinge at our waist. Deep breath. Exhale, and hinge at the waist. If you can touch your toes, that'd be awesome. If you can't touch your toes, that's also okay. Just hinge there. I had a dream last night that I was able to touch my toes while stretching. So I think that's a good sign. We're just going to hang here for another 15 seconds. Then we're going to breathe in, roll up slowly. And we're going to do some shoulder rolls. You know I love my shoulder rolls. All right. So inhale and roll up slowly over the course here. Inhale. Bring those shoulders up. Back. Down. You feel that tension come out? All right. So now we're going to roll our shoulders back 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. 2, 3, 4. Bring it forward. 2, 3, 4. With the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. 2, 3, 4. All right, doesn't that feel good? All right, we're just gonna slowly twist back and forth here at the waist, arms out. Slowly twist. Don't go fast. You could hurt yourself. You're going fast. Nice and slow. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We want to love our bodies. Get our blood flowing. Get our blood flowing nicely here. Because you're a lovely person. You deserve to be loved. And you should love your body. All right, bring those arms up. Keep swaying back and forth, twisting at the hips. Don't twist fast. This is nice and slow. Maybe not super slow, but at a nice, reasonable pace where you're stretching out this way. All right, then we're going to go down. Down. You probably can't see me here, but we're stretching down now. Back and forth. Just getting that blood flowing, keeping our bodies nice and fresh. Keeping our bodies nice and fresh. All right. One more deep breath. Stretch it out. Let it out. All right, we're going to get back to coding now. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in that stretch. I know you did. Except for you. I see you back there. I see it back there. But that's okay. I love you anyway. If you can't stretch, I hope you got it in. I hope you're feeling beautiful. But for stretching with me, everybody, Dramokes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you in the eye. My bad. My bad. All right, for joining me in that stretch, 50 points, everybody. 50 points to all of you. I appreciate it. You deserve it. We're going to hop back in here. All right, so we finished 2 of our goals so far today. We created a menu item, so we got our Dungeoneering kit, we got a grid editor. That'll open this boy up here. Get this dad there boy opening up. All right, we added in 3 buttons, a save, load, add scene. They don't do anything yet, and a text area. And now I want to implement a grid builder. All right, so a grid builder is gonna convert our text into grid prefabs in a scene. Okay, so this is gonna be a thing that eventually, when we click add to scene, it's gonna have a grid builder and it puts it out there into the scene. So we're gonna play around and see if we can get that to work out. See if we can get that to work out. That's delicious. That's delicious. All right, so this is the wrong thing. Let us open up here. All right, so in our edit, I think grid builder goes in grid editor. This is an interesting thought. Should it go here or should it go in our actual game scripts? Maybe it goes in our game scripts. Our editor has reference to these, so we'll put it over here because in our game we might use this to load. Yeah, in our game we'll probably use this to load it in. All right, so we're gonna create a new folder here. We're gonna call this grid. And I'm gonna create a script in here called grid builder, GRIC, with a C, grid builder with a D. Okay, and the idea with this, I'm able to take a text representation and convert all the characters in that text representation into objects in the scene. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's do a public namespace name. Ooh. Dramok says, make me a game, make it, take, and finish the game. Are you that's, let's give that prompt to Chat GPT. Make me a game. Excellent. All right, namespace, this is captaincoder.dungeoneering. Well, dungeoneering. All right, we're going to public class grid builder. And the idea with this is we can use this to add in stuff, and there's going to be a build thing at the end. Dramok says, I made myself some nice script templates. Please do tell more. Tell me more. When you say script templates, what do you mean? I do not completely understand. For mono and scriptable object scripts. Gotcha. What do the templates do? Why were they necessary? Why did you use them? Tell me more. I need to know. I need to know more. Our grid builder. The generic idea is we need to be able to take in a string. So there's going to be a public. Ramos says, so I can right click in the asset when we'll go to my templates and select the template. And cool. I understand. So you have templates here that show up in your menu. That's kind of cool. I did not know that. So in your scripts here, you can do like right click, create, and then you have like your Dramulx thing that shows up, and then you can select like your script and it'll like populate it with a default script that you can edit. That is cool. I did not, that kind of makes sense. You can do that. I did not know you could do it. That sounds really, really neat. All right, so we got our grid builder. With a grid builder, we're gonna have a method. And it's gonna return a list of game objects, I think. Either return a list of game objects or accept a transform to put it into. Let's do that. We'll do public void. Maybe list of game objects. I'm not sure. Public void. We need something that looks kind of like this, though. Public void. Build from text, and it's gonna take in our. Maybe it's called build. All right, and it's gonna take in a string of a grid, and I believe a transform container. This is where it's gonna dump it into the container. So given a transform, it'll put it into that transform. Using Unity Engine. But it says all you need to do is to add a folder called script templates folder and assets and add your custom templates. Look at a good tutorial. I'll link a good tutorial on Discord. I think regions can be useful, Dramulx. I think that they tend to be used in very poor ways. So be careful with regions. I often think they make code less readable when used poorly. So I think I like to reserve regions for things like in a region, it's like these are all my serialized fields that are like something special goes with them. Regions make me uncomfortable typically though. This is interesting because I'm gonna need to get a reference to a transform. Regions make me uncomfortable. All right, so I need to have some way to. Okay. So I'm also gonna have to have a database, new file. This is gonna be our grid cell database. So we're gonna have a grid cell database. Grid cell database. This is gonna be a mono behavior, so I can make a prefab of it. Mono behavior. And this thing is gonna essentially have a list. So this is gonna have a public method. And the method is going to have a game object from, it's going to have like a lookup. Lookup is going to take in a character ch. And so given that, that's going to give us back a game object. It's going to clone some game object and give it to us. So for now, I'm going to return null. But the idea is it's sort of like a database. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name, but Siham C. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Thank you so much for the follow. As people here know, I'm a computer science teacher. So do not hesitate to ask questions. I love answering questions. Do not hesitate to backseat code. I will not always accept your backseat coding suggestions, but challenging me is a good way for me to grow. I like that. And Seth, what would that be? FF. Why can't I? It's like, was that 256? I think that's 256. Why can't my brain? 255. 255. That's why I was like, I can't be right. Seth 255 says, hello. I just started to learn C#, so I think it's a good idea to watch professional at work when I can't code myself. Awesome, my friend. Well, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining. Siham says I did pronounce right, and of course I keep changing it. And Seth, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, you're welcome aboard, my friends. I'm all about learning to code, learning to grow, building those skills. I'm actually like doing this kind of as class projects. My goal is eventually, these are not loaded properly. Eventually to turn these into like YouTube series, which is what I'm going for here. But welcome aboard. Do not hesitate. If you have any questions, please ask. Please ask. I like answering questions. It gives me purpose. It gives me purpose. But welcome aboard. So happy to have you here. All right, grid builder build. All right, grid cell database. What am I doing here? I want to create in this, we're gonna have a serialized thing. So we're gonna have a private list. Drama says, no time for me to deprecate some old scripts. Well, it happens. It happens. Deprecation happens. Nobody can see the future. And so that often results in deprecations. Collections.generic here. All right, so I'm going to create a class inside of this public. It's going to be a serialized class. This is going to be an entry. We want this to be part of this class. So our grid cell database has entries, and it essentially is going to have two things. It's going to have a public, read only, string, or char, ch, character, ch. I'm bad at naming here. This is our lookup. This is our key. There we go. Key. Can I make this a oh no, it can't be a const because it's an instance variable. Public, read only, game object value. So we're gonna be able to put our keys and values in here. And probably these shouldn't be game objects. They probably need to be like grid, some sort of interface, like a grid cell or something. I'm gonna do game object for now. Game objects might be flexible enough for what we need. Maybe it should be a grid cell. Yeah, I think that might be right. It might need to be a grid cell. But the idea here, and we're going to get here in just a second. So the idea is that I'm going to have a public list of entries. Maybe it should be private. Yeah, private list of entries. And this is going to be serialized. So these are going to be our entries. And when we go to look this up, I'm going to translate it to a dictionary. But when we go to look it up, the idea is we look up, we search through our entries. So we go for each entry E in entries. This is the generic idea. This would be the lazy thing to do. We say if E.key is equal to our character, we return E.value. Oh, in fact, we want to return do we just return it that way and then the outside? We're going to return a, yeah, this should take in a transform parent. So, and by default, we'll make it null. So like optionally you can pass in a transform. This will be its parent, and then we'll do the following. We'll say, instantiate E.value. So we're going to make an instantiate of this. If I pass in null here, is that an okay thing to do? I wonder. Is there documentation? Instantiate. There isn't documentation. I was hoping. Does anyone know? And we'll find out. If I pass in null here, will it complain? I'm gonna try this. So we're gonna return a copy of this game object. I know I can instantiate it without a parent. I'm just wondering if I have to do a check for it, right? So do I have to do a check for it, or can I do this one? All right. So that's basically my question, because I know if I know I can do instantiate with e dot value, right? I know I can do this. I'm wondering if this is synonymous or if it would be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. Cool. We'll keep going. All right. So if we find this key, we're just going to return it. We're going to make a copy. And if we get to the end here, we're basically going to throw an exception. Throw new exception. It should be, what is it, an argument exception? It's like a new system.operation exception. No such key for, no such key in grid cell database. And we'll put that in a quote just so we can see it. So basically, when you do this lookup, you can get it. This might be a fun exercise here to turn this into an indexable type. I've done it, and I've always talked about doing it. It's super straightforward to do. So rather than having this lookup, the grid cell data becomes like an indexable type. Maybe I'll do that. But I wanted to show off this real quick, and I'm going to turn this into a dictionary, actually. So let's come in here, and we're going to create a prefab for this. Okay. I'm gonna make a prefab for it. If we go to prefabs, create a prefab. This is our grid cell database. And I'm just gonna add this in here as a script, grid cell database. Sadly, oh, serialized field, what? Oh, I need to make this serializable, sorry. System.serializable. And then these, do I have to make those serializable as well? I think I might have to do a serialized field on those as well. Entries, add entry, element 0, yeah. All right, so let's do, they can't be read only. That's so annoying. This is like, all right, so we're gonna do it this way. It makes sense why it can't be read only, I think. Let's come in here like this. All right, there we go. So now I can set the key and value. So for example, I could say like, okay, if I have a serialized field read only. No, I want it to be edited in the editor. Dramolx, you just misunderstood me. I want it to be editable in the editor, but not editable in the code. Yeah. So I want to be able to build up my editor this way, where I say, well, dot happens to be a floor type, and our, you know, our hash happens to be, and I've created like this grid cell type. This will be like a wall type. And we might actually make this like a list of strings of things that could be that type. Yeah, so that's what I want. So I built this up so my database, I can sort of combine things into this. And when I go to build it out, so really in my grid cell, I've kind of made a mistake here. And what I really want is that I want a floor cell. So I'll call this a floor cell. And I want a wall cell. Let's enable it for now. And I want a wall cell. And in my prefabs, just to make my life a little bit easier, I don't know what this is complaining about. Something terrible has gone wrong here. Create a folder called grid, and we're gonna put these all in there. Yesterday I was just exploring out some stuff, and so I think I don't actually need this grid cell thing. Is music going? Is music playing? The music's just so quiet. It is playing. It's just, we're just on some ambient. Certain Shades of Blue, Sky and Why by Stream Elements, Harris Heller. Okay, so instead in my database, my floor becomes this, and my wall cell becomes that. So now I can pull those things out, instantiate them, and drop them in places. That said, there are some interesting things about that aspect of it. I'm gonna make this a dictionary though, so I just wanted people to see how that worked. As far as now in my editor, I can make these things in here. And it might make sense to make a custom editor, or in my Dungeoneering kit, I might have a cell database where you click that and it opens it up and you can edit it. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do, but this is the idea I have right now. Okay. And the idea here would be, instead of, Dramok says so many things to do, there's always some more things to do, right? So internally, I'm gonna have a dictionary from cares to game objects. All right, so notice my entries have a key and a value, and so I'm just gonna translate this list into this dictionary here. Entries, entry dictionary, entry dict, maybe, I'm not sure. But this is the thing that you can edit in the environment. This is the internal representation. And the first time we go to do it, we got to translate these in here. So I'm going to do, Mooniz, did you ever play around with the default value thing by any chance? Make this our entry dictionary. And this just have a get, and it says if entry dict is null, we're gonna go ahead and initialize it. No worries, my friend, I was just curious, because I'm about to do this sort of exact same thing here. So we just loop through, we say for each entry e in entries. First we have to instantiate this. So entry dict is going to be equal to a new dictionary. Checks part says, what about defaults? I don't quite understand the question. And then we do entry dict of e dot key equals e dot value. So there's one little thing here. We should probably do an assertion that says, hey, if the key already exists, something's gone wrong. So I'm gonna do a debug.assert that our entry dictionary does not contain e.key first. And if it does, we'll just say that entry list contains duplicate entry for character e.key. Because in the editor you can do this, but we want to yell at people if they do it. Checks Party says, just curious what you were asking Moon about. You said default. I do this often. So check out what I've done here. I have this thing that says if our entry dictionary is null, I need to run some code to initialize it. So I do this sort of thing a lot. The alternative, and the reason I do it is now down here, I can basically say return. I can do entry dict ch, right? So dictionaries, if you're not familiar with them, are kind of like arrays. So we have really, really fast lookup times. If I was doing this list, say I have 100 entries, every time I go to get an entry, I have to iterate through that whole list over and over. Dictionaries have fast lookup time, typically. So, you know, as I always say, if you have some problem, you can solve it with the dictionary. And if your problem you can't solve it with it. If you have some challenging problem, you can probably solve it with the dictionary. But if you can't solve it with one dictionary, you can probably solve it with two. Billy says, don't you still have to new the dictionaries? I don't quite understand what you're saying. I do a new dictionary right here. I do initialize it. Might have just missed it. But yeah, now we have fast lookup time. Let's do something fun. I'm going to actually, I forget exactly how to do it, but let's do C# Implement array accessor. Remove the parent param. What parent param am I missing? Entries, I still need this. Oh, never mind, I'm dumb. Hang on, we gotta go back in time. We gotta go back in time. I want to do the following. Thank you for catching. No, it wasn't about the keyword defaults. Chex Party asked, did you have a question about the keyword default? The answer is no, I did not. Really, I wanted to do this. Restart, instantiate. Oh, I'm not going to do an accessor because we have to give this thing a parent. Never mind. Entry dict ch like this. There we go. All right, so lookup just becomes this. And to make it clear, what I'm doing is this lookup and instantiate. I think I'm just going to rename this instantiate. Yeah. So Chex Party, let me show you what we were doing before in my wall renderer. In my wall renderer is a better example of this. So I have a mesh renderer here, and I want to be able to access it, right? So I want to cache this value using get component. I'm gonna be able to cache this value using get component. It says, okay, well, the first time I go to access it, if I don't have it, go ahead and cache it. And this is because I'm doing stuff in the editor. So I can't rely on awake to have been run before I go to access this thing. And so in awake, I just say, okay, by the way, go ahead and set our underscore renderer to be equal to the initialization process. I hope this makes sense. And you'll find that I do this other places, something like this, where I have this like initialization step type thing. And Muniz had suggested a way to get around it. The problem is I need this get component, so you can't like isolate it separately. Though I would have to do something where this is an extension of something because the get component's on the parent itself. Or we'd have to do something where you have like an act where you pass yourself in or something weird. And it was just not necessarily, it made it less readable, less understandable the other way, in my opinion. All right, so we have a less, oh, there's nothing wrong with the property, Chex Party. There's nothing wrong with the property. It's that I write this code frequently. It's like it's a pattern that I have. And so the idea was, can we abstract it? But I think the abstraction made it less readable and less understandable. All right. Anyone who doesn't know, Chex Party is also a streamer. Real quick, everybody, please direct your attention to the chat. You got it. There ain't no party like a Chex Party, because a Chex Party don't stop. Click that like button. Click it. Did you know that Chex Party is also a streamer, streaming Unity development? I've seen him stream a little bit of games sometimes too. But click that little heart button. Give him some love. Go check out Chex Party stream. I've seen him streaming a little bit before me usually. And sometimes at the beginning of my stream. But if you got nothing going on before you come in to see the captain, go check out Chex. Chex got some good stuff. It's fun. It's a fun stream. I enjoy it. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. If you were lurking, you can return to lurk mode now. All right, so I think we have this, and the idea is our grid builder. Our grid builder is going to need one of these things. So part of me is like, okay, if we do this build, when we construct a grid builder, we need a grid cell database. Yeah. Oh, Lazmat. Lazamat, so sorry. My bot doesn't like this. I need to make this URL not blocked. Lazamat tried to post this. C# has null coalescing operator for less boilerplate with null check and initialization. Let me go check it out. Lazamat, thank you so much for that. Sorry, my stream elements. My rogue bot gotcha. Yes, we have this operator. I think this operator is harder to read. I actually dislike this operator because I think it makes it hard to read. If I had a big complex where I was doing it with a bunch of different things, I would use it. All that said, it's probably just because I'm not used to using it. But then you have to ask, there becomes a question of like, well, what the heck does that, you have to know what this thing does. Yeah, so some of the things that C# adds are nice convenience things, but I actually think it makes the code less readable when you have many ways to do things. So in some ways, like Python tries out, there's one Pythonic way to do it. I like that, but I also dislike it. I don't know. I do appreciate it, Lazamat. Thank you so much for the suggestion. The new coalescing operator. Yeah. If I had a bunch of things and it was polluting my code a lot, I would probably use it in a long series. That said, I actually think that this... Where was I using it? You're suggesting I do it, like here instead? I think this reads better. So let me ask, is there like a big performance gain from it, or does it translate? Does it get lifted into, or what would it be called? Lifted or desugared? Desugared into this. That would be like a question I have. But yeah, thank you for sharing. Munez says, now is a question. I had a thought about something was hard to read because you had to understand how prefabs worked. Said it was up to the reader to understand. Now you're saying it's not good because you have to know how about it. Well, that's different, you know. So if I have, so that was specifically a class I had written, which I could add documentation in line to. All right. If I want to find that documentation, if I just put, so for example, if I do this, I can't hover over this and get information about it. Right? I can't hover over that and get information about it. If the other one, I had a singleton object. I had a singleton object. I could, Lasmat, yeah, I timed you out for 10 seconds. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that, my friend. My argument would be that, again, so I don't think there's anything wrong with using it. Let me preface that I don't think there's anything wrong with using it. It was way longer than 10 seconds. I'm so sorry. I don't think there's anything wrong with using it. I think it's less readable. So there comes down the maintainability, manageability. That's the sort of thing. I think a singleton's easier to manage. The code I had written before made it easier to manage than doing some maybe what I felt was maybe more convoluted. That would just be my argument. I think you had a completely valid, so let me also say, Munez, I think you had a completely valid argument. But yeah, if I'm, so here it's, if I was in a C#, if I was in a, let me say, if I was working at a company that was a .NET company, I'd probably say, okay, we should use this thing, but I'm teaching like intro to programming courses. I don't know. There's arguments to be made both ways, I think. There's arguments to be made both ways. But what were we doing? Let me not get too distracted here. I think you make good points. Lazamat, thank you so much for sharing that. Munez, you're right. It's all about understanding. Yeah, Checksprite says a downside is if you want to add code to it later, you can't do it, and it's not easy to do so. Yeah, so I think it's all context dependent. Maybe I do like it. I don't know. Render Goblin says, intro to program with C#, gross. Huh? You got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. Render Goblin, welcome aboard, my friend. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Welcome, welcome. I actually think C Sharp's a beautiful language to start with. But that's like my opinion, man. That's just like my opinion. I started with C Sharp, no problem at all. Better than Java. A lot of people love C Sharp here. We're in Unity, so of course people love C Sharp here. That said, there's nothing wrong with other languages. I do think C Sharp's a great language. My students have been incredibly successful using C Sharp as their first language. Yeah, Lazmat's a full-time C Sharp dev. I'm not a full-time C Sharp dev. All right, I'm getting distracted here. I got to turn my music down real quick. Rundergum says, "Hey, how goes it? I want to see what's up about dungeon generators." All right, so we're working on it. We're working on it. Here's what we got so far. It's so our look at it. Isn't it beautiful, Render Goblin? We can ship this. We can ship it. All right, so I'm playing around with Unity, and of course, this is all broken now. I did some stuff and it broke. 1 second, I gotta floor, wall. It's broken. That's okay. Let me explain what we're gonna do. I think C Sharp works great as a first language. My students have been incredibly successful. What I'm trying to do though is I'm trying to learn how to make custom editors in Unity. I want to be able to take a 2D text file like this and click add to scene, and it'll take this and it will dump this into the scene. It'll create an object, add it to the scene with the world built in this fashion. That is what I'm trying to do right now. We'll have like a save and a load. Look, you like my helpful tooltip? This is a tooltip. I don't think assembly language is probably the best starting language. I think a lot of people would say something like Scratch or Python are good starting languages too. All of my assertions are failing here. But yeah, so that's sort of what we're doing right now. I'm currently in the process, so we're only on day 2 here. I'm currently in the process of doing this grid builder. Dramel says people don't need to learn how to make a engine. That's true. People don't need to learn anything, really. People don't need to learn nothing. All right, so our grid builder is going to need a grid cell database. So there's an option here. I can make it part of the constructor to it. I could make it part of this and make this static. I think I'm going to make it so it has a constructor. Chex Party says, learn game dev if you crazy. If you crazy. Render Goblin, I hope that answered your question. Feel free to ask clarifying questions. Seth255 says, assembly is fun, but learning it from scratch is awful. I know what I'm saying because I started with x86 assembly, essentially. I've done quite a bit in MIPS. I haven't done a ton in x86 assembly. That said, we're gonna take a grid cell database. I have I've done a few assignments in undergrad where we're dealing with x86 assembly, where you had to decompile programs and examine the inner workings to explain what the program did. So you just had sort of what was called a BOM. So you had a program, when you ran it, if you just ran the program, you would, every time you run the program and it blows up, you lose 1% of your grade. So if you start the program and you run and it blows up, you lose a percent of your grade. So the whole idea was you had to decompile the program, add in breakpoints, and observe the assembly to like get through and find things inside of it. It was a really, really fun class. Drama says, I don't even know programming. I use C# to build my game, but that doesn't really mean I am a programmer. C# is a tool I use. I would say you're a programmer. You're a programmer. You're not a software engineer. You're not a professional programmer. There's like differences. There's different scales. So I don't know C# that well, but I've been programming a long time. And so I like kind of consider myself a software engineer. Drendergolem says, well, I wasn't sure if you were going to do a maze generator algorithm or simply populate a tile map with some walls, hence the curiosity. I'm planning to do procedural generation that uses a Markov chain to choose which rooms are connected. Says that sounds amazing. That must have been such fun to decompile code to make it work. It was really cool. It was really, really cool. Basically, you have to identify, okay, where is the web call happening in the assembly. So you have to go in there and be like, where's the web call being called out to some URL? You could like change the URL so it would ping somewhere else. It was cool. Really, really enjoyable project. Grid cell database. All right, so we need a reference to the database. Private grid cell database. Database equals database. All right, so when you build this thing, Moon, it says building it, creating a tile map, then extruding the walls. Yeah. Sounds like a lot of work. But it does kind of sound, Moon, it sounds easier. That would be cool. Maybe make it so you can do it from that would be interesting. Set up a tile map. And then you can make it with a tile map. So you have like a tile map that you drag and draw stuff in here rather than a text file. And you click go and it adds it to the scene. That would be really cool. All right. I need to get rid of all this stuff. This is causing too many errors in my scene. But we have our database here. We build. Yeah. So we build this. We're starting in the top left corner. Okay. So we're gonna do the following. String array rows is going to be grid.split. Okay. Grid.split. And we're going to say for int r equals 0. R is less than rows dot length r plus plus. So this is going to be our row. And then our column. All right. So then we'll have we're going to have a constant in here. Private float, I guess. I think it's going to be an int grid cell size. This would be a const cell size. Constant cell size is equal to 5. And maybe it should be a float so I can change the size. But I think in my mind, that's going to be a 5. Lazamat says, I appreciate that you stick to proper C# naming conventions for variables, fields, and properties. I do my best. Lazamat. To follow the conventions, because otherwise my students would be upset with me because I make my students do it. Quick question, Captain Coder, Render Galmass. How fast do you introduce your students to the concepts of garbage collection and memory management as they learn C#? Introduce is an interesting concept. I explain to them that there is a garbage collector as soon as we start talking about objects, when I introduce the new keyword. So I don't start with objects right away, making custom classes. But I introduced this idea of a garbage collector when we start creating things that like have references to each other. So I'll have like a memory diagram. And the way I explain the garbage collector, I say, well, what happens to the data? Here, let me draw a picture. I'll draw a picture. I'll show you what I do with my students. Give me a second here, because I think this is an interesting topic. Good question. All right, everybody. Captain Coder is going to explain how the captain explains garbage collection to his students. Keep in mind that most of my students are aged 10 to 14. That said, I have worked with university students in the past as well. So I work at a school that is mostly aged 10 to 14, though we have students younger and older in various cases. But, this is Captain Coder's garbage collection guide. So I usually introduce it when we start being able to add data structures that reference each other. All right, so we might have a class. Let's say we have a class linked list. Let's just talk about a linked list real quick. Or node. All right, so node. And node is a very simple class that has a list of other nodes inside of it, neighbors. I'll do ng there because I was gonna write the whole word out, but then a G came out instead of an NEI. I just did ng for some reason. All right, so I explained to them, all right, well, if you create a class node, so you might do var n0 equals new node. And when we do this, in memory, we have this thing called the heap over here. I sort of like say, oh, there's this thing called the heap. And this is sort of like your program where new things go. Anytime you see the new keyword, that tells the computer, hey, it tells the compiler, hey, I want to create some memory. I need some memory to do something. And you end up with an object sort of floating in memory here, and you have a reference to it. So NO is an arrow that points to this thing, and inside is another variable called NG. And by default, it points to nothing. It points to nothing, but we might make it so that it points, we add in some new stuff to it. For ease, we're going to say that NG is a thing that has a bunch of pointers coming out of it. Each of one's an index. So it really is pointing to like a list, like this. And then inside of that list are slots. So let's say we did N1 equals new node, like this. We end up with an N1, and it is pointing to its own thing that has an NG, and that points to its own list, like this. All right. And then let's say we set no.ng.add N1, like this. Now, the N0 dot says go to the N0 variable, follow that arrow. We're at this thing. And then we see NG, so we look up that variable, and it says the dot says follow that arrow. And then we do add, and that says perform the add operation. And N1 says, okay, follow the arrow and point to the same thing that arrow is pointing at. Okay. So I sort of talk about this. This is how I introduced it. I said, okay, so we have some memory in here. These things can all point to like different things. Maybe N1 has a neighbor and it points back here at this one. And so they sort of reference each other. But let's say that they didn't. Let's say that they didn't for a section. Let's pretend that that doesn't exist. All right. I'm going to do n0.ng.remove N1. All right. N1, this gets severed. We no longer have that in there. We lose the reference. All right. And then let's say that we never use N1 again in the rest of our program anywhere. We don't use that anywhere. The garbage, so you might think, oh, I'm wasting memory. This thing's just floating around in memory. Some languages let you explicitly manage when you deallocate this. You can remove it. But C# and Java and languages of the such have this thing called the garbage collector. And it's kind of like your mom. It's kind of like your mom at home. If your room gets messy, your mom might get upset. She says, clean up your room. But if your mom is really, really nice and lets you be, a little bit spoiled, your mom comes around with a broom and cleans up the mess for you. Right? So your mom, when you're very, very young, she sort of cleans up your messes for you. And C# kind of that way. You're kind of, a little bit messy when you're younger. And as you get older, you get more responsible. And so you might use a language like C++ if you're more responsible. But we like to be babies. And so the garbage collector comes around and sort of cleans up your messes for you on its own. So you don't have to worry about it. So that render goblin, that's essentially how I explain it to my students. And it usually comes up naturally. Usually students say, well, what happens if this? Students will usually ask a question like that. And then sometimes I'll mention, oh, and by the way, if you want to, there's this thing in C# called unsafe, which lets you explicitly manage it. But that's only if you're crazy or working on something very, very independent. Gremlix says, no, thank you. I don't want to have to deal with pointers and memory management. It can be really fun. For what it's worth, I have found it very, very fun to deal with pointers and memory management in the past. But Render Goblin, that's sort of how I introduce it to my students. Mooney says, what happens if mom's on a vacation for a month? That's when we get lag spikes when she gets back. Yeah, you get lag spikes. So that's like a very high level introduction to garbage collection. We don't talk about nitty gritty details. That said, in grad school, we did implement a garbage collector, which was really fun. If you've never implemented a garbage collector, that is a really cool experience. Highly recommend it for the insane people. Dramolx, if you don't pay your garbage tax, the garbage collector will never come. That's also a well-known fact. Okay, so in this situation, we're gonna loop through our grid here. Render Goblin says, okay. And then students seem to absorb the rest of the C# concept. It depends on the concept. So I'm constantly growing how I teach stuff. And I think every student's a little bit different. I have found that my students do quite well. So I have I would call them a special breed of student, which might be a little bit insulting to them. I'm not sure. I feel like my students, I teach in an online school that all of my classes are electives, so no one's required to take my class. So I have a very specific group of students that really, really want to learn what they're doing. No one's forcing them to take my classes, so they're highly motivated on their own to learn a bunch about it. That's really what it comes down to. My students do fantastic. Every now and then I have a student who isn't excited about the class, and so that ends up being a little bit disappointing, but I basically get to teach what I want. I have my dream job, really. All right, now we're gonna do for int C equals 0. C is less than rows of R dot length C++. Can anyone join your class? Yield Tarskin, can anyone join your class? I work at an independent school. So no, not anyone can join my class. Rendergum says, so it's engaged in interest group. Exactly. So it would be might teach very differently if I was at like a university. I have, in grad school, you know, I was a research assistant, and we had to work with, so I taught like a programming lab, and a lot of those students didn't want to be there. They were required to be there because they were like, if you were a math major or some kind of engineering major, you were required to take the Unix class and the intro to programming class. And a lot of those students just did not want to be there, and it was a lot more challenging. Yield Tars King, I'm not sure if I answered. He said, can anyone join your class? I work in an independent school. Only students who are in that school can join my class. That said, I am hoping to run at least one summer class run a Captain Coder's official summer class this summer. Details pending. No promises, but I want to. All right, so we're gonna do char. CH is gonna be equal to our rows at RC. Have you ever thought about doing your own classes, charge people by the hour? Yield Tarsking, I do independent tutoring, and I do charge by the hour. So I do independent tutoring and charge hour. It depends on what students are doing. So I do individuals, but I would like to do more group classes. I'm not sure what it's going to be this summer, but I think I'm going to do at least one group class this summer. That's why I say I mostly teach 10 to 14. That's like my day job, my professional, like I have a contract where I teach. And then I also do independent tutoring for a wide variety of classes. So one of my students is doing DevOps stuff. I have another, and she's like 32, I think, 33. I tutor a couple of students who are in university right now taking a systems architecture class, and I have one student who's doing a compilers course in university. So I do tutor more complex stuff. I don't do a lot of group classes outside though. I'd like to try and create some group classes. And Immortal said, ever thought about doing a community college course for adults trying to get into programming? I would love to do that. I'd love to find a community college. It turns out it's hard to get hired, and the pay tends to be bad. So it's, there's this thing of doing independent tutoring. I can make a lot more money than at like a community college. That said, I love that type of stuff. I often have volunteered for Girls Who Code and Black Girls Code because I think those are great organizations. All right, so we're looping through this. The idea is that we have our database, and we're going to say instantiate ch for container. All right, again, one more thing here. I do think we want to require container on this build. Yield Taurus King says, I'm of an older age trying to learn C# basic from the beginning. I only now know what I learned using Unity. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of people that want to learn it. If you missed it, here's my suggested resources. Here are my suggested resources. That first one is a workbook that I'm currently developing. It covers the basics. It doesn't cover classes and it covers everything up through that. So I have a book that I am working on. Feedback is greatly appreciated. It's targeted more for younger students. That said, I think my students have done very, very well on it. It's sort of a non-linear workbook full of activities. So for example, you might come into this lesson, basic data types, and it has like questions and interactive stuff, and it gives you challenges, that sort of thing. It is targeted for a younger group. I use this in my class. As far as books go, this is the best book. If you can afford $30 USD, this book is fantastic. And if you can't, the C# course book, the yellow book, is a fantastic free PDF you can get. But if you can afford the book, I highly recommend. If you enjoy this book, I recommend donating to the author, Rob Miles. Okay, so we're going to instantiate this, database.instantiate. We pull that character out, we instantiate it. You're welcome, Yale Chorskin. Good luck with it. And of course, I think you're on the Discord. You can always post questions on the Discord as well. Database.instantiate. This is going to give us a game object, obj. And I want to set the position of this object, .transform.position. Position is going to be equal to a new vector 3, and this is going to be inside of it. So does position set local position? It should be local position. It's going to be new vector 3, and we're going to set our x and z position. So I'm going to make my x my row. So it'll be x r times cell size. Excuse me on that hiccup. The float's going to be 0, and then our z is going to be our column times our cell size. So the idea is these are square tiles. So when we call this build, we're going to loop through our string. We're going to pull out each character. We're going to instantiate an object based on that character. So we're going to use our database to instantiate, and then we're going to add it. We're going to set its position so they get lined up nicely. All right. So this is what our build should do. Now I need to attach this to our grid editor. So our grid editor is going to need one of these and make it so that when you press that button, it's going to essentially do a grid builder, instantiate it, and we might have a couple things here. Ooh, this is interesting. Question. In our editor, I need to be able to select the transform I'd like to build things into. Render Goblin, I'm so sorry you got by the stream elements bot. Let me see. What's the command? Unban render goblin. So sorry you got render. You were posting something very, very useful here. W3 Schools, it's not bad at intro material either. Yeah, I think W3 Schools has some decent stuff there. So sorry, render goblin. My stream elements bot doesn't like URLs. I've tried to slowly add things in to allow, and so I'll add that to a allowed domain. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, in my editor, grid editor, I want to add in can I add in a spot for a transform? Question, does anyone know? I would like to be able, project. No. I would like to be able to add in a spot that is a game object spot where you can drop something in. Can I do that in the UI builder? Can I do that in the editor here? In various ways. So if I was doing it in rendering, I got to keep that Captain Superpower active. Object field, probably in the UI builder. There's an object field, I missed it. Containers, image container, object field, controls. It may not be in here. I know I can add it. I'm pretty sure I can add it. We could also Google it. Chess says, oh wow, never tried UI builder. I've been using the old caveman code way. Unity keeps hiding cool stuff from me. Yeah, we learned about this one today, Chex Party. Right click, create, UI toolkit, editor window. One more time for the people in the back. Right click, create, UI toolkit, editor window. Beautiful. It made it pretty easy to get this stuff in here. Let me look here. I know I can add one, but it would be nice to be able to add it in here. UI toolkit object field. How to use object field in Unity UI elements. But yes, I am aware of what an object field is, but I want to know no type in object field created in UXML. 2019 is a little old. When I create an object field in the UXML file, it appears in the inspector with no type. What I do to work around, blah, blah, blah. You probably have to add a visual element and reference it in the script. Okay, I have to add a visual element. Can you edit the UI builder code or does it hide the code from you? So it is a couple things. All right, so in my grid editor, I load it as a visual tree asset. This was generated for me, so I don't quite understand it, but it label from UXML instantiates it this way. And then you have this, which if you double click opens this, but this is just an XML, which I'm assuming if we wanted to, we could edit directly. Although you probably shouldn't, right? So this is just some XML that's very specifically formatted. So you could do that, but we're learning about this today. This is one of my big things that I wanted to learn. Moon says, you probably have to add a visual element and reference it in the script. Oh, wow. Okay. Completely new way. Good luck. Yeah, exactly. Visual element in the script. Okay. So I could do a visual. All right. So let's try that. Custom visual element. UI. All right. Let's look at this. Control behaviors with events, UI builder, structure and UI style, test UI, structure UI, control behaviors and events. I'm surprised they don't have a thing. I feel like this would be a really common thing people would want to do, but maybe not. Maybe not. I know I could do it this way. If I did like edit, editor dot, let me look at what I did real quick in my custom script. I had a custom script in renderer. Renderer says, okay, last one. Do you have an estimate on real-time performance does generator have using this method? I could probably speak in big O. So I think I can speak in big O. It's gonna be, I believe it'll be big O of n, where n is the size of the string that it's processing, roughly. And then this, to build it is, so that would be like my big O estimate is, I believe it'll be big O of n, and then each one of those elements, adding it to the scene is gonna be whatever cost it is. So my answer to that is roughly, maybe that might be, big O of n. I don't know how long that's going to take, but the idea is that this gets generated in the editor, not at runtime. So in the when the game plays, it's already built. It exists in the scene. This is a tool to make it easy to generate these things in the editor. So the idea is that it shouldn't matter at quote unquote game runtime. I wanted to open up this file and editor GUI layout. I was gonna see if I could do something like this. Editor GUI layout dot object field test field. Does that not work? How do I use object field? Object field. Yeah, you can. You can. Didn't they essentially have it there at the beginning? Here, let's see. And let me just do wall. You probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't sell. Oh, this is in a bad namespace too. Using capt. This should be in namespace captain coder.dungeoneering. I think you can. We're gonna find out. You, like I said though, you probably shouldn't. Cell type dot wall. Rendering says, sure, got it. So then performance will mostly be impacted by what you put in each room and not so much the nearby rooms in the chain. Got it. Yeah, so all of the dungeon will be generated ahead of time. And then we might, you know, in the actual game, you might do some optimization. It says like, don't turn everything on, only turn like adjacent rooms on, something like that. Did not like that. All right. All right, that we could not do this. We could not do it. It was not, or changing the reference, add a visual element in the UI toolkit, set a name. I actually think maybe putting it in this namespace made it so we can't access it anymore. Let me try something. That would be really, really annoying. What is going on? What did I do? I broke it. Munia says, add a visual element in the UI toolkit. I broke it altogether. I can't get it anymore. Or it's attached somewhere and I just don't know where. Oh, the joys. Dungeoneering Kit 2. See if that changes the name. That did change the name. What happened here? New GUI content grid editor. Do any guesses on where it went? When it says add a visual element in the UI toolkit, set a name, then in code you query it for the visual element with that name and add an object field to it. I think that's the easiest way. We'll give it a shot. Once we can actually get it to open again. I don't know what happened to it. I can't open it anymore. All right, so in the UI toolkit, add a visual in the UI toolkit. So is this the UI toolkit? Okay. Visual element. Okay. Visual element. All right. Smap says, luckily you have a save point to go back if it's really broken. I think it's like cached in memory. And I need to like reload the editor. I actually think is what it is. Visual elements. Then in code, you Google query for that visual element. So give it a name. This is going to be called our, I don't even remember what I was doing. Oh yeah. This is going to be our, grid cell database. Oh, so we need two references. We need a grid cell. All right, so this is our object ref container. Object ref container. Okay, so now in the code, I need to query it. And I'm assuming it's on this visual tree. Visual tree dot. Let me know if I'm doing it wrong. And I can look it up here in the editor. In the documentation, I suppose. Examples. Relative, absolute, custom control. Create a custom control with two attributes. Toggle, radial, binding. Drag and drop, binding with C# script, binding without binding path, create a binding inspector. Create a binding that binds among custom and subject, custom and serialized objects. That kind of looks like what we might want to do. Visual tree, root visual element dot q. There's just a dot q. Visual tree dot q. Oh, root dot. That's. Oh, what is the type? Oh, it's a visual tree asset. Gotcha. Visual elements. I don't like when we do that. String name. All right, so this is the object ref container. And hopefully visual element ref container. And we'll do a root.add label from UXML. Fascinating. Asset, editor scripts, grid editor. Then do I do root? I think I need to find a little bit more documentation on this so I can understand exactly what I'm doing here a little bit more. All right. We have been going for almost an hour and a half here. I do think I need to take a quick break. I'm almost out. I made tea, not coffee. Sorry, everybody. I'm just about out of some Earl Grey, but we'll be going, I think, for at least another 30 minutes. We might go an hour today. We might go 4 hours today, 3.5, 4 hours today. Because I'm learning something new. This is fun. Very interesting. But I'm going to take a quick break. And let's get my code to compile real quick. I think I need to restart Unity to see if something went wrong with my Dungeoneering kit here. Dungeoneering kit, GUI editor. Because I can't get that editor to open anymore, and I'm not sure why. Let's try layouts default. I checked. And I checked. It's not. There it goes. I think I got it attached to a window somewhere. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I attached it to a window somewhere. And so just resetting my scene seems to have helped. All right. Wanted to get that just so I could see it. Okay. But yeah, I got to take a quick break. We'll be back very shortly. But hang tight, everybody. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere unless you have to. If you have to go somewhere, that's fine. But while you're waiting, feel free to ponder the meaning of life. The meaning of life, the universe, and everything. If you'd like to share your thoughts on it, please do so. You can also check out, real quick, I'm just really proud of my Crazy Marble game. You can check out the Crazy Marble game, which is the game we made the last 2 weeks before this project. So check it out. Check out that Crazy Marble. Give it a shot. See if you can beat my times. All right, everybody, I shall return. Hang tight, and I will be back. I shall return, sorry. I keep saying I'm gonna go, but then I don't. All right, hang tight, here we go, for real this time. For real, whee! All right, Corpless, welcome, my friend. Welcome back. Just bear with me a moment. Let's ate a handful of cashews. So still processing. Sorry if you can hear it. I apologize, but we're back. We're back. Coffee Gofi, that's right. We got Coffee Gofi. Coffee Gofi, water, unsalted roasted cashews, cash shoes. You know, cashews. They're the shoes full of money, full of paper money. Cash shoes. Muniz says, so what I think you do in C# is this thing, and then also you need to do this thing. And then Corfless says, hello there, and I say, hello, Corfless, welcome back, my friend, welcome aboard. You've never eaten cash out of a shoe, Muniz? It's delicious. Delicious, it's nutritious, my body loves it, your body would love it too. And then we got a haste bin. Ooh, a haste bin instead of a paste bin. Fascinating. Cash shoes sound delicious. You know, you can use them for, you can get in, and if you really, if you don't like the flavor of cashews, the best part is there's cash inside. There's cash inside the cashew. So if you don't like the flavor, you can use that cash to get any food you'd like. Which brings us to today's sponsor. Today's sponsor. This stream is brought to you by Fast Hub. Not Grubhub, Fast Hub. Haste Hub. Anyway, I'm just kidding. No sponsors. No sponsors. All right. New object field, your name, object field, type of rep container.add. All right. We're going to copy this random code off the internet and paste it into ours and see if it works. Hastebin, it looks nicer, yeah. Looks nicer than Pastebin. All right. So you're saying I can do this. I can do this. Today I learned Hastebin. Where's dark mode, Dramux? No dark mode, no deal. I'm sorry, Dramux. Everyone always harassing me. How else? Look, watch. This is how I get my programmer 10. Watch my face. Hang on. You'll see. This is why I look so good on stream. I look so good on stream because look, watch this. Programmer 10. Yeah. Don't you want that programmer 10? You got to get your light somewhere. You got to get that light somewhere. My system settings aren't set to dark mode by default, I think is what it is. Oh, you're saying on your system you got. All right. So object field. So do I need to put, this is the name that I want it to appear as. This should be target transform. Type of game. Can't I put, hang on. Can't I do something like this? Shame on this. Shame. And we all know that you're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to do it this way. Object listing can be simplified. How simple can it get? All right, let me ask you a question. Which one looks simpler? This way or this way? All right. We got this way or this way? This way or this way? Which one? So it's I actually, you know, the which one looks simplified? So this one's nice because it's like, oh, well, I'm definitely wanting this one. Number 1 or number 2? I don't think this one's simpler, but I think this one's nicer and makes it clear what we're doing. The other alternative is, are there any constructors? Can I specify a type here? I can't. I think this one makes it more clear what's going on. Especially if you do it like this. I think that makes it really clear what it's doing. I don't think doing it in one line necessarily makes it easier to read or anything. I do think it's more clear. Simplified, I wouldn't call this simplified. I'd call this like a slightly more clear version. All right, let's give it a shot. You gonna do a thing? You gonna... Did not do a thing. Let's try one more time. Null reference, object not set to an instance of an object. Ref container. Mooney says it looks much better now. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how true that is. Line 25. Is ref container num? Null. Ref container. Oh, well. I bet it's hashtag here. It's probably null. Num. Nummy. Debug.log. Ref container. I bet I'm supposed to put this hash in front of it. If I'm doing like a query, right? If it's anything like JavaScript, it's null. It's null. And now my grid editor has gone into the abyss. One sec. Please hold while the captain compiles. No. Our windows vanished again, which is sad. I don't like that I'm having to do this to get my window back. All right, Captain Coder, don't close the window. Let's put it right here in the middle. Then we'll forget about it and be real confused. Moonids, my intuition keeps telling me click that close button. It's using up all your memory. We gotta optimize for space memory. Where you don't stop using that memory. Okay. So this is null, so I'm not getting my visual elements. Let's look at our... It's in here somewhere. It's bigger. It's better. Object ref container is the name. View data key. So how do I access this? Object ref container. Let's make sure that this is spelled correctly. It is. Rename hashtag object ref container. It's part of our, okay. It is, are we sure it's part of the root and not part of this visual tree? Oh, and this isn't necessarily, or do I have to do this add first? Is it there now? All right, I didn't add that yet, so that might be it. Compile. Build those assemblies, please. Still null. Still null. But now, do I not need this hash? All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so we don't need the hash. Needs to be added first. Now we can access it. Like this. Corfless says, I realized I forgot to contribute to your previous games. Academic and work already gutted me a lot, and I barely scratched the surface using it. Corfless, don't worry, my friend. You got lots of things to worry, not worry about. You got lots of things to do that are more important than the captain. More important than the captain. Let's go see. Does it work? I can't see. It compiles. It compiles. Hey, can I create an empty? It's called grid. Boop. You can. All right, so that's our target transform. Next, we need one more. We need another. All right, so we need another here. This is going to be this one's type should be of type of grid cell. I'm not in the namespace that I want to be in anymore. Corpless, of course. I always, I'm all about continuing to learn, grow, take care of yourself more than anything. You are more important. Like yourself, your health is like everyone's individual health is really, really important. You got to take care of yourself. Don't kill yourself overdoing it, and especially don't kill yourself over over not making it or contributing. You contribute by your the essence of Corfless has been infused into the captain stream. So you contribute just by existing, Corfless, and we love you, we appreciate you, and I'm just so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. This is gonna, all right, so it changes to our grid target. That was weird. Did I put a space in there? Why would it let me try and rename with a space? And this is going to be our database grid cell database grid target. This should be of type transform, and this should be of type grid cell database. And then we will do ref container.add grid cell database. We're getting close, my friends. I think we're getting close. We're getting closer all the time. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we got a grid cell database slot, and we can come to our prefs, our prefabs, and our grid cell database. Boom! There we go. Devro, what did you work on today? This is an excellent question, Devro. This is an excellent question, Devro.
Everyone, please direct your attention to the chat. This is your captain speaking, and we have a very important guest today. A very important person in our presence.
Please direct yourself to the chat. Come back from your lurk, please. Oh, shout out, not the username. Devro here. Fantastic game developer. I think we can do Devro. Devro is an incredibly talented game developer and 3D artist. You gotta check out his stream. Go check it out. It's got some beautiful stuff there. Click that heart. Click that heart. Follow Devro. Gotta see some 3D renderings. But yeah, we are working on, Devro, thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for asking. We're working on creating a, the long-term goals. This is day 2. This is day 2. The long-term goal of what we're looking at is a procedurally generated dungeon toolkit. All right, so I'm calling it the Dungeoneering Click. Don't unclick it. No, Dramox. Don't break his heart. Don't break his heart. Devro's heart doesn't need to be broken. Don't unfollow. Just follow. Just follow. Don't unfollow. Don't do it, Dramox. All right, but we are trying to build. We are trying to put together here a Dungeoneering kit. So we want to be able to generate. So here we're putting together a toolkit. I'm trying to talk and I'm bad at it. I will put this up here. So I don't know what's null. We're gonna clear that. We want to be able to make our maps as text files like this. All right, and then I click add to scene and it builds this out into the scene. Corvo says, by the way, there is a literal death by work phenomenon called karoshi in Japan. That sounds awful. Let's not do that. All right, so we're in the process of putting this together today. We're just about, I think, to be able to, we're almost at a point where we can click add to scene. Yeah, don't stress yourself out that much. De-stress yourself. I hope I don't stress anybody out. My whole goal here is to de-stress. But yeah, that's what we're working on. This is day 2, Devra. But yeah, add to scene. That's what I want to be. Maybe I should change this add to transform, like build in transform. If this is not null, we'll have this button or something. But yeah, I'm like, we're so close. We're so close here. I just got to make it so now when we press this button, I need to connect this button. So let's see in the documentation if we can find that. Button. Control behavior with events. Handle events. I want to add the code to, oh, let's go to examples. Examples. Here we go. Examples button. Button. There's not a button example, are you crazy? All right, hang on. Custom control, create a bindable custom control, drag and drop, basic binding. I'm amazed that there's not a thing here for just a default button. Receive callbacks when bound to a property change. Bind nested properties. This is Stream Beats, Coreflish. Yes, love me some Stream Beats. Love me some. We're listening to Serenity. Serenity by Harris Heller on Stream Beats. Oh, it's because I'm in examples. Hang on. UI toolkit. Get started. Examples. Create a complement RAS, create a tab menu, create a pop-up, custom color, create 2 attributes, create a slide toggle, radial, drag and drop, basic bind with a bind path in C#. Just want to add a button. I just want a button that when I click it, I want to add a listener. UI toolkit, Unity, bind button. Button. How to make buttons interactable. Not what I'm looking for. Real quick. Let's look at the UI editor here. Add to scene. Binding path. I don't know what that means. On click. Use toggle, create a conditional. We're just going to look at one of these. Create a pop-up window. Here we go. Toggle. Create a Unity pop-up in the editor. Visual root q.button. Button.clicked. Here we go. Here we go. Let's need a little example about it. This, I probably break this out a little bit. This is not going to be button, but we want to get it by our add to scene, I think is what it's called. Add to scene. Add to scene. And not pop-up window. Instead, this is going to call add to scene. And we'll figure out the things that we need. So private void add to scene like this, and this can be a builder, grid builder equals new grid builder, and specific needs a database. So this is going to need to have our database. So it's going to be a grid cell database, like that. And builder.build is going to take in our string, so we need to get this the grid, and we also need the container. All right, so we need string, grid, and transform container. All right, so I believe we should be able to do the following: grid cell database dot value. And then we have to cast this. It should be, all right, let's make sure object field dot. Is there a better, is it just dot value, or is there a method that I can do to get the value? And specify the type. Let's see what the documentation says. It just says value of type object. Ooh, can I do this? Generic type. No, I can't. All right. I think I can do this. Grid cell database. Object field. Makes a field receive an object. Let's look at what value says. Value. Why? That's fascinating. Object field, base field. Object field, object type, allow scene objects. Override set value. UXML traits. Fascinating. Value. Object field is a Unity engine.object. Cool. Value, I believe, is just going to be the thing that's inside of it. Raw value of a T-type value. We're gonna try value here. See if that. We'll do this. Debug.log grid cell database.value. Just private void show value. Like this, and we'll have this taken a grid cell database. Object field. I want to see what this says. All right. I'm gonna give it a shot here. Bear with me. Bearing with me. All right, so if I click add to scene, nothing happens because I didn't do this. Button.clicks plus equals show value on grid cell database like this. When it says I kind of like doing the layout in the GUI and then hook it up in the script. I missed something. Is that what you? I'm not sure if that's exactly what you were referring to. Cannot be applied to operands of type clickable and lambda. Oh, thank you. It just thank you very much, Moonness. Autocomplete got me. Autocomplete strikes again. This is why I'm not afraid of Copilot taking my job, because you still gotta be able to debug. So click add to scene, I get null, but if I set my grid database assets grid, I'm surprised it doesn't show up there. Grid cell database. Oh, interesting. Not what I meant. Undo grid cell database. Oh, they're both say target transform. Hang on, this should say grid cell database. That's disappointing that it doesn't, but that's okay. That's okay. We can do a little driggy draggy drop. Just a little draggy drag. Drag it with the driggy drop. It's annoying that it resets like that. But I kind of makes sense. You need to build the lookup. It's right there. You need to build the lookup. I don't quite understand what you're saying, Dremels. Oh, for the assets. For the assets, I have to do something. Oh, there it is. What? It showed up. Look at this. It's there. Oh, I'm in scene. Never mind. It's scene works. All right. Never mind. I got you. Cool. Add to scene. Okay, so we can reference it that way. We can reference this that way. All right, so when we click this, we need to convert all of these things to their values. So that's going to be our database. I need to get a reference to our... let's get our button. We also want to find a text. What element am I looking for here if I go into my UI builder? Specifically, the map data. what is the type here? So map data. Map data. Map data. I'm gonna need this. To... My guess would be it's like a text element, but I don't know. Or text field. Let's see if it complains. Text field. Look, there's the name right there. Alright, yeah, text field. But it says, but how do you get it to the work in the normal inspector? You need to create a custom drawer for that. A custom drawer. Is it drawer or drawer? I'm never quite sure if it's referring to like a drawer that you pull out or a drawer, something that draws on the screen. I think you guys are talking about different things too. But that's okay. So map data dot value, is this going to be a string? Yeah. All right, so this is going to be our grid. So our grid cell database. Then we have our map data dot text, and then finally our grid target dot value, and this should be as a transform. All right, let's give it a shot. Give it a shot. Or you can use the Odin inspector. Dram Elks loves the Odin stuff. Always giving the Odin. All right, so do our grid. Get our grid. Oh, did I call build? I did. I did. Is this about to do a thing? Are we about to do a thing in the thing? All right, so grid there in our grid cell database. It almost did a thing. We just haven't defined all of our walls yet. Hang on. All right. Oh, was a thing about to happen? We might be about to have a thing happen. Drum roll, please. Boom! Boom! Oh, there's a little extra garbage here at the bottom. All right, so one little thing is I need to have it like add a little child or something to it. So I think it should add a parent transform inside of where it is. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Let's make it, as it's building all these, it's gonna name these things a little bit differently. Beautiful grid builder. Moona says you shouldn't have to build a custom editor to see the assets in the built-in assets tab. This is what I mean. I agree with you, Mooniz. I think you shouldn't have to. It's very crazy that you do. Okay, so as we build this thing, I want the object.name to be the type that it is. So for now, it's just going to be, our row, our column, and then also the obj.name. Let's give it a shot. Everyone watching, are you watching closely? Are you watching closely? Because I'm about to generate this extra garbage here. Hang on, in my UI builder. Let's get rid of this default. We need to have this like saved somehow in the editor data. Are you watching closely? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Don't stop looking at me. Stop watching. Stop watching. Hang on. Why is this not monospaced here? Oh. Because it's not monospaced here. Look closer. All right, we'll make this our default. Save that. Come back to our scene. Can I get this to reload? Grid editor. Fine. All right, check it out, everybody. Check it out. We had our grid cell database. We say we want to put it here. We click add to scene and boop. We get it. We done did it. We done did get got. Beautiful. Dramox, I think the thing that we're saying though is that you should. I feel like you shouldn't have to do that. If there's like the assets thing, shouldn't it just look in your project's assets? That's the thing that we're saying is, so in my editor here, why do I have to specify the assets? That's all we're saying is it feels really, really dumb that you have to specify assets. Why is this tab here if you have to do some magic to make the assets show up? Unless maybe it's like you have to specify a filter or something. I don't understand. Anyway, we got it working. One little thing here that I want to do is there's some issues. The container, I want to... All right, everybody. So Captain Coder does not condone the following statement out of context. Do not take me out of context. We're going to destroy children here. We got to destroy all of the children of this container. And then we're going to add these guys to it. All right. So Captain Coder does not condone destroying children outside of Unity's context. All right. This is a programming context. Muniz. We gotta destroy the children here. Captain, no one clip that. Stop. Oh no, now I said it's gonna happen. Do not clip. Do not clip. We gotta destroy the children here. Don't clip that though. All right, so we gotta destroy the children here. And in fact, I think I wanna create a game object just for my grid. I can disable clips on my channel. Parent. So I'm going to create a thing called a parent that's going to be like the root of this of it. So that we don't have to worry if it gets added to the main scene, it doesn't pollute it. I don't want to actually delete everything in the main scene either. So our parent here is going to be a new game object. We're going to give it a name grid. Generated grid, something like that. I don't know. All right, and then we're gonna put everything inside of that. So this thing, can I give it a parent here? Container. When I instantiate a game object, that's okay. I will just set it parent dot transform dot parent equals container equals container. Perfect. First try. And then we're gonna build this into our parent like that. A parent dot transform. Okay. So now we don't. All right. We didn't have to destroy any children. We did not have to destroy any children. I repeat, we did not have to destroy any children. We made a way around it. No children were destroyed in the making of this in the script. Okay, so if I don't, so here's a question. If I do not select a transform, it creates a generated grid for me. Nice. Add to scene, I can generate multiples, drag them about, add to scene. So the idea here, beautiful, I'm really excited about this. The idea here is I want to be able to have a variety of different rooms that we can just click add to scene and boom, dumps them in. All right, we did it. We did it. I know, Dramox, I was saying earlier that I think we're gonna have to change the walls. This felt like the easy thing to do, but I think we're gonna have to make the walls not take up a whole grid cell, instead straddle cells. Sadly, I think we're gonna have to make the walls straddle. But yeah, we got some thickness. We got some thickness to them, but But we could do this. We could do this. We can make some rooms like this. All right. So we could look. Classic. Classic. But if I did this, boop, there we go. I got myself somewhere. Uh-oh. Is this the new one? Yeah, look at that. We got a thick room over here. Unity Coder says goblin. See, goblin proof walls. You understand, Unity Coder. Can get down into this dungeon here. Yeah, look at that. Can run around. Some thick walls. 5 feels like maybe it's too thick. We might need to make the walls 2.5 in width or something. Dramulks, exactly. We can now, the idea is in our grid editor, we're going to be able to define different rooms inside of it. And then you'll be able to have nodes that reference different room chunks by like some label or something. Mooney says this is worth easily $30 in the asset store. Yeah, let's ship it. Ship it. Exactly. I have seen some garbage in the asset store that's like $100. And then there's other things in the asset store that are just like amazing. All right, cool. This worked. We're gonna do a commit here. Feat implement first draft of grid editor. Render Goblin says, no wall is proof from me, the Render Goblin. I'm gonna get you. There's no escape. You can't escape the Render Goblin, you fool. You fool, you think you can escape. All right, everybody. We did it. We implemented the basic grid builder here. There are those high quality renders of some objects where a single oil tank is like 1200. I know, I guess if you were a relatively maybe big game studio, I don't know. I feel like there are no massive game studios that use Unity. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a game developer. All right, everybody, for being here to witness this momentous occasion. For being here to witness it. You were here first. You saw it first. Moments after I saw it. 50 points. Render Goblin, sorry, I took you out of context. Render Goblin said no wall is goblin proof. But are you a goblin, Render Goblin? 50 points to all of you for being here to witness this momentous occasion. Syntax error. Gotcha. I said no wall. No wall is goblin proof. Beautiful. This is not bad. This was fun. This was really, really nice. All right, everybody. And you know what it means? I actually managed to finish all 3 goals. This doesn't always happen. We finished all 3 of our goals. So another 50 points. Take them. Take those points. Oh, I did it wrong. Add points. All 50. There we go. First try. So thank you all so much for being here to witness this beautiful occasion. This beautiful, beautiful occasion. It was wonderful. I hope you enjoyed it. But we're going to go ahead and stop here. We're going to go ahead and stop. We're going to wrap things up. How about you don't do that? Nice try, Dramulks. Nice try. Nice try, my friend. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's been super fun. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. If you don't forget to follow. If you wanna come back, you wanna know when I'm going live next, don't forget to follow. Also, if you'd like to hang out with us outside of Twitch, we got a Discord that you can join. No pressure. No pressure to join the Discord, but we got a fun little community here in the Discord. We can suggest ideas for projects. All my projects are like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. The longest I've done so far was a 3-week project, but feel free to join the Discord, hang out with us, chat with us. It's not too busy there, but you'll know when I'm going live there. As always, have yourselves a beautiful day. Keep growing, keep coding, keep growing, keep building up those skills. We're gonna find someone to raid. And as always, have yourself a a beautiful day. You're welcome back anytime. You're welcome back anytime. Let's see who's on. We are going to go raid, I think, Dev Spagus. I think that's who we're going to raid. Ferris Deuce, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. It's much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah. Dev Spagus is doing a excellent Unity developer. We're gonna go check out Dev Spagus, everybody. But thank you so much for hanging out. It was a very fun. Oh, not wrong button. Dev Spagus. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful day. And once again, keep working on yourself, growing those skills. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time. Same time, 7 a.m. Eastern daily. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Take care.